Hello Internet, Ben here again with a little Mysterious Space coding session. It's been a little while since my last video. I don't know, hanging out on the weekends. Oh, I had to play a little bit of Owlboy, which, yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's not blowing my mind away, but like, it's a solid platformer. Um, with pixels and puzzles, and yeah, I love that stuff. Some visual issues, but Mysterious Space has some of those too. And let's talk about Mysterious Space. Um, so at the end of the last video, I had started on this tutorial thing, and let me show you where I got at now. So there were various like problems that I just knew I had to fix with the code that I was like, yeah, let's not bother all of you guys with whoever's watching. It was just solving dumb shit. So, um, but I'm now visible, and her dialogue isn't updated. We'll probably do that this episode, but it does generate a little level. Um, you can fly in it. No enemies will appear, which is just what we want. It's supposed to always be an ice world. I don't know. Somehow the biome is random. It's different every time. But it is a very small ice world, right? I think I've already gone in a circle. You may also notice that I am already full on fuel. Okay, no. There's two entry points here. That's one big one. And also, where's my mini-map? Oh, no, yeah, it's all the same, right? Here's the one big thing you can go into. But yeah, did you see that? I like flickered out for a moment, and we can see it in the clouds. Yeah. What's up with that? So there's some funny business going on up here having to do with the wrapping of the level that should be solved automatically by my code, but clearly is not. Yeah, that was also weird. Uh, I'm wondering if it has to do with the super small size, if that just confuses it, like I'd only ever tested with planets above some particular size. Yeah, I flickered out of existence there again for a brief second. Anyway, so there's some issues. Also, there's no fuel to pick up. Also, you have the 3 fuel here, and I need it to only be 2. So let's solve all of these issues if possible. Let me note the time, and let me make sure that I don't take forever. So, oh, and something else. So the reason why I'm here, and I was like, okay, it's time now to start coding this for all to see rather than just, solving the super problems. I had initially copied carved tunnel to overwrite it because I wanted to change the chance of spikiness, right? And that's all I was doing. That's a really silly way to solve that problem. What we should do is just let the planets have some variable that controls this 20, right? What are the chances we want to be spiky? So let's do that. So we're going to call it, I don't know, spiky, chance of spikiness. And let's make it a percent, actually. So let's say if 100 is less than chance of spikiness. That's how you do it. So if the chance of spikiness is 100, all numbers 0 to 99, because again, RNG, you get one less than your max, all numbers from 0 to 99 are going to be less than 100, right? Whereas if we say the chance of spikiness is 20, only 0 through 19 are less than 20, the rest will be above, right? So this is how you do a basic percent chance thing. Fantastic. Let's then make this function. So we just saw it was a 20, so virtual, it can be protected. Virtual protected int. The default for all of my planets is going to be 20. For the tutorial world, we want 0. And no numbers from 0 to 99 will be less than 0. Great, our logic still holds. Chance of spikiness, return 0. 0% chance of spikiness. Fantastic. So there, that's a way better solution. Then we don't need to have the whole function copy-pasted in here just so we can change that one variable. Where did it go? In planet. Yeah, that was silly. I don't know why I was doing that. Hard to think and type at the same time. We'll say that's the reason. So the other thing we need to do is make it so you don't start with 3 fuel. Oh, and we need to add the fuel. So that should be easy. Yeah, we do want it to be here. Add fuel. Yes, wait. Sorry, what were the other options there? That's to specify some coordinates. Yeah, and add puzzle fuel. That's funny. That probably chooses if it's going to put it in a room or an obelisk or whatever. But no, we just want to straight up add a fuel. And I'm pretty sure that'll just work. Yeah, it's just going to find the space. It tries to keep it far away from existing fuels. Blah, blah, blah. We don't care. There's only ever going to be one fuel on this level. The other thing we need to do... Oh, it's supposed to always be ice. Why is that not happening? That's super weird. So, like, there must be something in here. Oh, the seed. The level seed gets passed in. And it controls the type. See, isn't that interesting? There are some things I've been seeing, and when I had to code, like, the amount of trouble I had getting this tutorial to, like, just generate a world with you rendered on it, tells me that I've coded things in a bizarre way, and that's something I want to go back and refactor. But again, I don't think that's something. I feel like that would be boring for people to watch, so I won't record that. Or maybe if I do, I'll do it as like, I don't know, a private video and link it in the description to something else. Be like, do you want to watch me refactor a bunch of stuff? It's probably real boring. Click here. But anyway, so yeah, so whatever is calling tutorial world must be passing in the wrong seed. New level seed. It's going to choose a random one unless we force a type. Variety. Excluded types. Interesting. Yeah, this is also parts of the code I haven't dealt with in a long time. Oh, here's one. Okay, sector depth also specifically a type. So we could say type is ice. Okay, which should, by the way, be right here. Here's another thing where we've got const. Like, why is this not a? Let's do that. Let's do that. I want to do it. This should not be const. This should be an enum. So I'm going to make that happen right now. Let's make a new thing. We're going to call it planet type, or it's not about planet type, so it's biome. Biome type. This is again fighting against C#. This is an enum, and where was that? I don't even know. Where was that? It was in level. There we go. Yeah, all this. You don't need the count. We can get that. Okay, yeah, anytime you're like passing around, oops. Anytime you're passing around a bunch of consts like this, like it's time to, we don't need that either. It's time to just have an enum, because enum makes sure that, again, if you see something like, oh, it takes an integer as a parameter, what are my possible values? I don't know. If it took an enum, then everything would be great. Can these be caps? Sure, they can be all caps. They're kind of like consts. That's something I did too for the sounds, which is kind of weird. Also because they used to be constants and I moved them into an enum. It's the same thing, I just ended up leaving them caps. So that seems to be the coding standard I've accidentally created for Mysterious Space. Let's stick with it. I don't happen to need that. I don't know that it really matters, but whatever. I'm sure that C# optimizes that kind of stuff away anyway. I mean, it recognizes that it's not being used, right? That's why it colors it in light gray, but whatever. It offends me. Be gone from my sight. Alright, and that's going to cause a bunch of errors. Let's find out what they are when we try to run. Level does not contain that. Right, so this is now biome type barren, and planet type should be of type biome type. Excellent. See, and here we can do it. So let's actually search for, what we're looking for is level.type, and we're going to replace that with biome type, and then we can just do it. Now, you could probably do a search and replace, but for reasons like this, let's not. I mean, those would also show up, you know, when I tried to compile, but I don't know. I feel like it is good to see, you know, you're like, okay, let's get. It reminds me of like what's going on in this code, right? I mean, I'm also a little scared of search and replace, even though I shouldn't be, but yeah, I've absolutely found things before. It's helpful sometimes to really go through the code, right, and see what's actually going on. Because sometimes you see something, you're like, oh, right, I forgot about that edge case kind of situation. I better address that. New level seed. I believe we've... Yeah, okay. Empty space. So that's not one we included. Empty space. And this is absolutely a thing that breaks all previous saves, right? But that's okay. We've already broken all the saves, so we don't care. Biome type. None. That's another one. Can we do null on enums? I don't think you can, right? There's no way. I can't say null, right? That would be useful if I could. It's always true since it's never equal to null. Type biome type question mark. Right. It would have, yeah, sure. Okay, I should know better. I've run into that doing stuff at work too, right? You have to, for an enum, if you want it to be nullable, then you say, oh, it's biome type, or it could be null. Same for int. You can do the same thing. Be like int, or but null is also allowed. But we don't want to do all that. So anyway, let's interesting. So the question here is none really is. Is that intending null? Should I make this a nullable? A nullable type? I think I kind of should actually, because that passes into other functions as well, where it says, you know, what's the type that you're excluding? Oh, you're excluding none? Oh, okay, you know. Cannot be declared const. Huh, nullable things can't be const? I mean, it really doesn't matter for the debugging thing. None of these have to be const. Okay, that's fine. So if it doesn't equal null, right, so here we go, then it equals the force level type. Oh, but then you have to, like, then you have to cast it to the, I don't know what the correct answer is here. Let's worry about that later. So this also needs to be, there's a type in here somewhere. Type. Biome type. I see what you're saying. Biomes is not indexed. Ah, it's indexed with an integer. Well, we can make it a list. But that is an interesting thing. So this needs to be a list, or rather a dictionary, keyed on biome type, and an array of biomes. Whoops. See, so what's going on here, right? And I've commented, because again, it's not obvious. I'm just saying, this is forests. I can tell because it's index 0, right? Deserts are apparently index 1. Desolate rock, index 3. So all of this needs a little bit of refactoring as well. This seems, I'll just show you the result. This is going to be a little boring, so I'm going to pause the video, and I'll come back and have this all done, and you can see. Here we go. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This is a rather ugly, huge script. Oh, by the way, I'm back. So here's what it looks like. This is how you initialize a dictionary when you want to, you know, initialize it straight up with something like a static read-only. So first of all, we have the opening brace here. Let's put down the next line, because, I don't know, like functions. You put in brackets. So, I don't know, suppose this was a dictionary of inst strings. Blah equals a new dictionary int string, right? If you want to initialize that straight up, you then put here, you'd be like 3, then. You know, some big number. That is how you would initialize your array. It doesn't like that name for reasons I cannot imagine. Sure, because this is whatever. Static then. So whatever, that's how you do it, right? In this case, though, the structure is so huge, it's kind of hard to see that that's what's going on. So let's look at what's going on. Here's the opening thing where we're defining the pair of key and value. The key is a biome type, so here's forest. And then the value type is a list of biomes. And so then we have a list, and then we initialize the list. And then we initialize each element like this. So, right, this is one item of the list from here to here. Here's another item in the list from here down to here. And then we're done with the list, and then we're done with this pair. Start the next pair. Here's the deserts, right? And I just had to go back in, add these types, and then indent. And there's a ton of these things. So anyway, we're done with that part. So let's go and continue to solve this problem, right? And hopefully, search no instances of level type. Okay, so let's see what's going on. It says you can't reference this non-static field method or property. Oh, now it doesn't like it that's not static. Yeah, static read only. There we go. If you can't do const, then you do static read only. And now it should become happy about that. No? That's interesting. An object... Oh. Okay, type cannot convert a biome type to an int. So that suggests to me that this is looking for... Oops. This list of types. Needs to be biome type. I don't know if this is super interesting to you guys either. This is something else you can do, by the way, but I never choose to. If you have a complicated, like especially when you've got like dictionary, this, that, just say var. It's a little shorter. But I don't know, I'm just not personally used to seeing var. It looks weird to me. And I feel like you can use it in some places, and it kind of gets you in trouble. Like, I don't know, you could do the same thing here, because C# is smart enough to figure out it's a star system. And this doesn't mean, like, var doesn't mean that it's like loosely typed or anything. It just is like, okay, strongly typed, but let C# figure it out from context, right? So like here, var s in a list of star systems. Well, obviously it must be of type star system. But I feel like that if you have something complicated here, that then down here you're looking and you look up and you're like, oh, what is S a type of? Var. I guess you can hover over and find out. And then like, well, what is the type var? You know, so I don't know. I feel like if it's really short, then you don't need var because you haven't saved yourself that much typing. And if it's really long and complicated, then you saved yourself typing, except now you don't know just by looking at the variable s, you know, what is its type. So I don't know. So I don't tend to use var a whole lot. Every now and again I do for reasons that are nothing. But anyway, this needs to be type biome type. Can't convert this to that if excluded types, which apparently is also needing to be biome type. Okay, and this is what I was talking about here. So type isn't nullable. The type of a planet can never be none, which is null. But you can't just assign a nullable boolean. Like you couldn't have int 3 or int let's say a, you know, null, and then say int b equals a. That one will, even though maybe you know, it's like, oh well, I already know. Or maybe I said if a isn't null, then I want to assign it. It says no, that's potentially nullable. So you just have to cast it down to int. And I think it will freak out if I don't know why it's complaining. Embed statement. Oh, because you can't declare. Yeah, I can't declare it in there. I have to. Sure. Anyway, you can't. I think if I tried to cast null to int, it's possible that would throw an exception, or maybe it just goes to 0. I don't think it just goes to 0. I think to get it to go to 0, you have to be like int convert or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's the problem we're having down here, is that biome type. I'm saying if it's not null, then let's assign it to type. And it says, but my type isn't nullable, and your thing is nullable. So finally cast it to biome type, and now it shuts up. Set level C, that should be a biome type again. Alright. Oh man, there's a bunch more of these that we gotta deal with. So here's another one. Planet type names. So that's interesting. So this, that's tricky. Okay, so this comes out of the translation thing, and I don't know how you do this in XML. So here's the problem. Okay, let's change this. I'll just show you. So this is list biome type equals a new, or rather it's not. Sorry, it's a dictionary. And okay, let's use var because I was just talking about it. So this is a dictionary of biome types strings, right? And then this would be biome type forest is forest. That's how it gets translated. It's not liking that for some reason. May only appear within a local variable declaration or in a script code. I'm going to see if that's just because it's angry and it decides to calm down once I put all this in. Angry about the bad, do all this stuff. Okay. It still doesn't like that, huh? Wow, see? I don't know because I never use var. Although that's silly that it doesn't, I don't know, whatever. More reasons to not be impressed. Barren is the type here. Ocean, ice, lava. Okay, so this does not seem like a problem so far, right? Where the problem comes in, you may be noticing, what's up with this, like, pound signs on the side? So these are the strings that are displayed in game, which doesn't answer why are there pounds on the side. The reason why there are pound symbols, or sharps, I guess. This is C#. So anyway, the reason why those are all on the end is because these are untranslated strings. So if ever I don't translate this, and I'm counting English as a translation, I want to know. I want to see it that way, and so that I know I need to put it in my English translation file. Now here's the problem. Those are in XML, and if we look for planet type names, I don't know that it's going to know how to, right? Like, I don't know how dictionaries are serialized, so I'm going to have to find out. And I think what will happen when I run the game now is that those just won't be serialized, or this won't be deserialized, or it will be, but into the wrong type or something. We're gonna get an error when it attempts to deserialize this, or we're just not gonna have translations for those strings until I figure out how to translate them. I don't know. We'll have to find out. Let's see what's going on over here, and see if we can't fix everything. Type empty space. Aha. Also looks like this should be biome type. And then this is, whoa, we want new biome type empty space. Okay, is it willing to run now? I think it might be. I think we have successfully refactored biome type into an enum. Let's see what happens when I play the game. It freaks out. It does not like the language thing. Argument out of range exception, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, we know what's happening. I don't think, this is a weird sort of error. Index was out of range, must be non-negative. Oh, so I know what happened. It failed to load any of the language files, because when it loads a language, if there is an exception, then it just doesn't load the language and reports it, so we should see that on our output. Somewhere it'll be like, failed to load language, English, this, that, failed to load them all. I'm not actually seeing it for some reason. But I'm pretty sure that's what's happened. This is, oh, it gets logged. I capture all the console output and put it in a log file because I want people to be able to send that to me. It's no good if it goes out to the console, so it needs to go to a log file so that I can say, oh, your thing crashed, send me the log file, right? So anyway, that's why it's not showing up down here. Anyway, so they all fail, and then when it comes up here to get any number of languages, it says, well, I want language 0. Okay, what's language EN? But none exist. So we have no languages in the game. So I'm going to have to figure out how to deserialize the, or rather how to write serialized dictionaries in the code. I don't think I have any. Let's check. Let's search in this file only for a dictionary. Current document. Right, that's the only one. Key descriptions, XML ignore. I don't remember what that is. And then the actual list of languages, yeah. So I haven't done this before, so I'm going to have to figure that out. Probably this is a great stopping point. I feel like I didn't get to do a whole lot of super exciting things for you guys, right? I got distracted with this whole biome type enum, but that's okay. That's part of programming as well. I hope this was all interesting for you, even though I feel like this is maybe less interesting than other episodes. It seems that I've created a lot of trouble for myself, right? You might ask, why bother with this whole biome thing? But I promise, what caused me to do this? Let's remind myself, or remind us. The reason is that I have some functions that say, give me a biome type, like when making a new level. So that was, I don't remember. Yeah, let's just go find that again. It was part of level seed. I want to make a new level seed. Here it is. This was the constructor I was going to call, and was like, oh, you need to pass me an int that refers to your type. And I looked at that and went, that's stupid, this is old code, I need to change that. That needs to be, because when I have like, let's do it, level seed s equals new level seed, and I'm looking at the arguments, we want this definition, I would say, fine, it's going to go in a sector, it's going to have a depth of -1, and then what integer do I type, if this one's an integer? Well, I don't want to have to know, I want to type this and get the list, right? This is what I want to see. It makes coding easier in the future. How often am I encountering this? I don't know. It's possible that we did a lot of work for something that I'm only calling once, but I do feel that it is a better way to have the code, so I feel like it's worth it. So I'm going to do it. I feel like this is the sort of thing where, you know, if you were just coding and you had deadlines and goals and things you had to do, you'd be like, yeah, it's an int, it works, fuck it, just leave it alone, you know? But that is the wonderful part of being an indie game developer who has a full-time job and can just do whatever he wants in his game. You know, I can afford to spend the time to make the code pretty. I've definitely, you know, there's no rush. When you rush things at work because you have to, they end up not as well as you would have liked. So I'm glad I'm not in a situation where I have to rush. I can take my time. So again, I think this is worth it. And again, I hope this was interesting to you. I'm going to you know, I'm stopping recording now. I'll upload this video, but in like 2 minutes from now, I'm going to start recording the next. So there won't be a wait between episodes like there was on the last one. So hopefully you will. I was going to say we'll see each other again soon. That's weird to say over video, but hopefully, yeah, hopefully you'll be back for more. Goodbye.